Leadership is our topic for this evening. We are going to learn how to move or to transition from competence to leadership. From competence to leadership. If you saw the promo, you saw the adverts for the program. Okay, what I shared there is what I'm going to start with this evening. And I said that competence is getting the job done. Competence is getting the job done. Leadership is getting the job done through others. A lot of times people don't know the difference, between competence and leadership. Competence, in my opinion, is the beginning of success, the ability to get things done. But what happens in most organizations is the moment you get things done, you are given more responsibility. I like to say it this way, that the reward for a job well done is more work. The reward for a job well done is more work. And most of the time, what they will ask you to do is to oversee the work of other people. Let's take an example. I like to use this illustration all the time. Funsho gets a job in the bank, is in customer service, he attends to people. Funsho is punctual. Funsho is efficient. Funsho is effective. When customers come, they will rather see Funsho than see any other person at the desk. When others are attending to about 10 people, maybe in 2 hours, he is attending to about 20 people in 2 hours. After about a year, the head of department feels like this guy is so competent, let me give him more responsibility. And so Funsho is promoted. Now Funsho is responsible not only for his own output, but for the output of about 5 other team members. Now, Funsho knows how to be competent. Funsho knows how to be punctual. Funsho knows how to be effective and efficient. Funsho knows how to get the job done. But without proper training in leadership, Funsho may not know how to get things done through other people. It's one thing to be punctual. It's another thing to inspire 5 other persons to be punctual. It's one thing for you to attend to 20 people in 2 hours. It is another thing for you to inspire other people or design a system that enables other team members to be able to do the same thing or even maybe half of what you are doing. That is leadership. This is my submission tonight. Effective leadership multiplies productivity. Effective leadership multiplies productivity. That's why I like this statement by D.L. Moody. He said, I would rather get 10 men to do the job than do the job of 10 men. I'd rather get 10 men to do the job than do the job of 10 men. But what happens when a person fails to transition from competence to leadership is that their ability to produce outstanding results will be limited significantly. When a person lacks the ability to get things done, or a person does not understand, or a person is not effective, is not skillful in leadership, that person's ability to produce outstanding results will be limited significantly. Essentially, that's what John Maxwell calls the law of the lead. If you have not read the book, even if you have read the book before, I encourage you to read the book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's a book you should read at least once every 2 years. It's a book you should refer to from time to time. The first law in that book is the law of the lead. Let's read what John Maxwell says about the law of the lead. It says, leadership ability is the lead that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower an individual's ability to lead, the lower the lead on her potential. The higher the individual's ability to lead, the higher the lead on her potential. In essence, your ability to lead will determine the extent of your effectiveness, will determine the extent of your productivity, will determine the extent of your success. If there's anything I advocate for everybody to do, is for everybody to focus on leadership, master principles of leadership, become an effective leader, so that you can fulfill your potential, so that you can hit your target, so that you can fulfill your goals, so that you can become all you were designed to become. And this is the good news. Leadership is not a talent. Okay? Leadership is not a talent. It is a bundle of principles and skills that anybody can learn. Even though some people are born with leadership qualities, okay, or leadership tendencies, the natural ability is not enough. The best of leaders are not born, they are trained. Okay? The best of leaders are not born, they are trained. Yes, I know there are people with a propensity for leadership, with some innate leadership qualities. Some people are even said to be gifted to lead. But that natural ability is not enough. So even if you don't have that natural ability, leadership is a body of principles, a bundle of skills that anybody can learn and anybody can master. So my message to you tonight is this: transition from competence to leadership. Don't just know how to get the job done. Master how to get the job done through others. Now, to transition from competence to leadership, I have 3 suggestions for you tonight. To transition from competence to leadership, I have 3 suggestions for you tonight. This is the first one. Become a lifelong student of leadership. Become a lifelong student of leadership. What do I mean by that? From today, that is if you have not made the decision already, make up your mind to understand leadership, to understand what it means, to understand how it works, and to leverage the principles of leadership as far as your career is concerned, your business is concerned, in short, the rest of your life is concerned. Become a lifelong student of leadership. Don't never get to that point where you assume I know everything I need to know about leadership. No. So many years ago, I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe, and he gave this, he shared this experience, how that he was listening to another speaker, and the speaker said, I have read everything ever written about leadership. And Miles Monroe said, no, that's not the truth. I wrote something about leadership last week that I'm yet to publish and that you have not read. Okay, you see, when a person gets to the point where they assume, I know what I am supposed to know. As a matter of fact, Paul the Apostle in the Bible says that is proof that that person does not actually know what he or she is supposed to know. So to be effective in leadership, to master the principles of leadership, commit the rest of your life to learning them, to knowing them, and to applying them. What are we talking about? Transitioning from competence to leadership. And I told you I have 3 suggestions for you tonight. The first one is what? Become a lifelong student of leadership. Here is the second one. Adopt the right attitude toward people. Adopt the right attitude toward people. Okay? When you don't see people the way you are supposed to see them, when you don't think about people in the right way, there is a tendency for you to get overwhelmed, to get discouraged by people. If you have listened to me for quite a while, you would have heard me say this statement, that the P in people spells problems. Yes, anywhere you find people, there's likely to be conflict, there's likely to be chaos, there are likely to be challenges where you see people. But yes, the P in people spells problems, but it also spells promises, it also spells possibilities. This is what I've discovered. The people who get the most done through other people are the people who have the right attitude toward other people. I wrote an article, I've even taught it severally. Okay, I say to people are never the problem. Okay, people are never the problem. If you want to read that article, by the way, you can read it on my website, segunwoke.com. Just go to the blog section and there's an article there you can read titled, People Are Never the Problem. You must adopt that attitude. Okay, people are a blessing to me. I was even still sharing that a couple of days ago. Okay, I don't have enemies. Those are the kind of statements you should say to yourself to affect the way you think about people. People are not my enemy. People are not my problem. Okay, people are there to bless me. People are here to further my cause. They are not stumbling blocks to me. They are stepping stones, or better still, they are facilitators, they are accelerators, they are elevators. They are not the enemy. If I find it difficult to get things done, I may not have the right person, but the person I have is not the problem, because everybody has a purpose. So a lot of times when somebody is not delivering the results you want them to deliver, instead of saying the person is the problem, why don't you consider, maybe I am asking or demanding of this person what he or she was not designed to give me. Okay, so I'm going to help this person find the best position, the best spot for him or her on the team, but I'm going to keep looking for the right person for this thing that I need to get done. People are never the problem. Okay, as we go on in this teaching series, okay, stay with me. We have 3 more sessions after today. Stay with me. You will understand better when I say people are never the problem. Because if you don't have the right attitude towards people, even if you don't say anything about it, they can read it, they can sense it. There's just an aura around you that repels people when you don't have the right attitude towards people. When you are excited about people, when you are positive about people, there is an aura, there is an atmosphere around you that attracts the right people into your life. We're talking about transitioning from competence to leadership. And I said there are 3 suggestions I have for you this evening. Number 1, become a lifelong student of leadership. Number 2, develop the right attitude toward people. This is the 3rd one. Develop the will to lead. Develop the will to lead. Here's what I have discovered. Leadership is a lot like financial investment. To make it big, you must be willing to invest for a long time. Okay? There is no shortcut. There is no fast track to leadership success. To become an effective leader, you must be willing to learn and grow till you become that person that others will gladly and willingly follow. Okay? So you develop the will to lead. What am I saying? In your leadership journey, you will have so many opportunities to give up. You will be discouraged severally. People will pose problems, okay, from time to time. Projects may stall. For some people in leadership, this is what I found out. In the beginning, it will look like I can get it done faster by myself instead of training somebody else to do it, instead of trying to get it done through other people. But hey, there's just so much that one person can do. As a matter of fact, John Maxwell says that 1 is too insignificant a number to achieve anything worthwhile. So you want to leverage the strengths of other people, the thoughts of other people, the talents of other people, the capacities of other people. For you to do that, you've got to crash through what I call quitting moments. You've got to outlast the challenges. You've got to stick to your vision until it becomes reality. And that requires tenacity. It requires grit. It requires, okay, a relentless attitude towards life and leadership. That's why I'm asking you to develop the will to lead. For most of the people that I see who fail in leadership or who give up in leadership, it is in these 3 areas that they struggle. It's either number 1, they are not ardent students of leadership. Sometimes they assume they know what they are yet to know. Okay. Number 2, they don't have the right attitude toward people. And then number 3, they don't have the will to lead. Okay. They don't have resilience when it comes to their projects, when it comes to interfacing with people. These 3 abilities, these 3 qualities will help you transition from competence to leadership. And for the rest of our time today, I'm going to focus on the first one. I said, become a lifelong student of leadership. So today, as we begin to round up, I will share with you, okay, what I understand. Okay, when I say what I understand, I'm talking about lessons I've learned about leadership as far as understanding leadership is concerned. So I'm going to explore several definitions of leadership. As we look at these different definitions, it will help you gain understanding. You will understand what leadership is first by seeing what it is not. And for each definition I give you, we're going to have some beautiful thoughts from remarkable thought leaders or speakers who have said something about the principle I'm sharing with you. All right, so here goes. Understanding leadership. This is the first one. Leadership is not being the boss. Leadership is service. Leadership is not being the boss. Leadership is service. Leadership is all about solving problems for people and adding value to them. So, a leader builds his people. Then the people in turn build the organization or build the business. So many people make a mistake in this area. Okay, they have a vision, they have an objective, they have something they want to achieve. Then they gather the people together and then they focus, or he or she focuses on the mission. That's a big mistake. Leadership is not being the boss. Leadership is service. An effective leader serves his or her people, and then those people will reciprocate by serving the organization. Let's look at the way Ken Blanchard describes it. He said, servant leadership is all about making the goals clear, then rolling your sleeves up and doing whatever it takes to help people win. In that situation, they don't work for you. You work for them. This is important. An effective leader works for people. People don't work for them. This is crucial. Leadership is not being the boss. Leadership is service. If you are going to be effective in leadership, this is the starting point. People are more important than projects. People are more important than profit. People are more important than whatever it is the organization is all about. Effective leaders are about people. The only thing is, when you invest in people, the same people will reciprocate. They will invest in your organization. They will invest in your business. The second definition of leadership I'm going to share with you is this. Leadership is not just being in front. Leadership is showing the way by going first. Leadership is not just being in front. Leadership is showing the way by going first. Another way of describing that is saying leadership is modeling. Okay, the leader sets the acceptable standard of behavior in the organization through his own actions. This is what I've discovered. People will do what they see more than what you say. Let me say that again. People will do what they see more than what you say. So if you want to be effective in your leadership, you want to make sure that you are modeling. Okay, in the words of Gandhi, he said, be the change that you want to see. Be the change. If you want your people to be punctual, be punctual. If you want your people to be efficient, be efficient. If you want your people to be committed to the organization, let them see it in your commitment to the organization. If you want your people to treat people with respect, you treat them with respect and treat everybody around you with respect, because leadership is not just being in front. Leadership is showing the way by going first. Let me share with you this research done by the Stanford Research Institute. It was discovered that 89% of what people learn comes through visual stimulation, then 10% through audible stimulation, and 1% through other senses. So if you want your people to demonstrate any quality, the best chance of them picking it is by you giving them something to see. Don't just talk about it. That's 10% of communication. That's 10% of their ability to learn. About 89% of their ability to learn comes through visual stimulation. So give them a picture to see. You want to show them how to dress. Don't tell them. Dress the way you want them to dress. Behave the way you want them to behave. And then they will follow your example. Let's look at the next one. Leadership is not control. Leadership is influence. Leadership is not control. Leadership is influence. You see, a leader does not tell people what to do. It inspires others to alter their thoughts and actions in alignment with an empowering vision. A leader does not tell people what to do, he inspires them. He inspires them to change their thinking and to change their actions based on the vision, an empowering vision that he has placed in front of them. Let's hear from John Maxwell on this note. He said, real leadership is more than having authority. It is more than having the technical training and following the procedures. Real leadership is being the person others will gladly and confidently follow. So leadership is not just about what you do. Leadership is about who you are. Leadership is influence. Leadership is not control. Leadership is influence. People do what people see and what people feel like doing. That is the reason why, as a leader, you focus on your person. You know, some people get it twisted at times when we tell them, look, it's not about you, it's about the people. And then in the course of the training, we turn around and say, but develop yourself. I'm even bold to say that 80% of effective leadership is personal development. And then somebody says, if I'm focused on developing myself, is that not selfish? No. And this is the way I say it. Leadership is developing yourself for the benefit of others. You see, you can't give what you don't have. You can't take people to where you have never been or where your mind is made up to go. That's the reason why you want to develop yourself first, but not in a selfish way, so that you can be effective in inspiring other people. Okay, the law of respect says that people will naturally follow a person they consider better than themselves. In other words, if you're a level 8, a level 6, a level 7, level 5, level 4, level 3 and below will comfortably want to follow you. But as a level 8, a level 9 and level 10 will struggle with following you. So to provide leadership for a level 10, you want to make sure that you increase your leadership capacity to a level 12. It's as simple as that. People will follow the person that they believe is better than them. It's called the law of respect. So if you want people to follow you, become the kind of person that they will willingly and gladly follow. Let's look at the next one. Leadership is not filling a position or holding a title. Leadership is taking responsibility for positive change. Leadership is taking responsibility for positive change. You see, most people can see what the problem is and perhaps how to solve it. But a leader takes it upon himself to solve the problem. To an authentic leader, a title or a position of authority is only a tool for solving problems. So leaders don't get carried away by title or position. And when they don't have a title, when they don't have a position, it does not stop them from inspiring other people or from taking responsibility for solving problems. I like the words of Michael Hyatt on this note. Look at what he said. He said, great leaders don't point fingers. They are accountable for the results and accept full responsibility for outcomes. So, if you are going to be effective in leadership, you have to embrace responsibility. Take responsibility for positive change. Okay? Take responsibility for positive change. This is the attitude I advise people to develop. If it is going to be, it's up to me. Just say that to yourself from time to time. If it is going to be, it is up to me. I remember so many years ago at the beginning of my professional career, I was working with my mentor, and the work was tasking, it was demanding, because where I stayed at that time was very, very far from the office. Okay, I was the youngest and the most disadvantaged of all of us in the core team at that time. But there was a lot of responsibility on me, and I get tired from time to time. One very early morning, I was meditating, and this statement came to me. I wrote it down, and it became a mantra I worked with, okay, from that day forward. I said to myself, I don't give excuses, I deliver. You know, it dawned on me that every time my mentor made a demand on me, it was not just pressure. It was actually an opportunity to stretch me, an opportunity to grow me. You see, when you develop that kind of attitude, you will take responsibility for positive change. When every other person is backing out, giving up and saying this is too difficult, so you know It's not just pressure. It's an opportunity for me to grow. It's an opportunity for me to become a better version of myself. If everybody is not going to do it, I am going to do it, because leadership is taking responsibility for positive change. This is what I have found out. When you make up your mind to do it, of course, that takes us back to the will to lead that I talked about before. When you take responsibility to do it, people will join you after some time. This is what I found out. You are not worthy of being followed until you are willing to go by yourself. Whatever you are not willing to do, whether anybody supports you or not, your mind is really not made up to do it. It reminds me of this story. This happened so many years ago. Bishop T.D. Jakes was to preach in National Stadium. Okay. It was the first time I think he was visiting Nigeria, and there's so many of us young people, who are following him, who relished the opportunity to watch him and listen to him in person. Okay. So I traveled from the city of Ibadan, for example, to the city of Lagos to attend this program. It was supposed to be a Sunday morning service. I think the service was supposed to start at 9 a.m. House on the Rock was hosting the service. I had gotten there, as early as about 6:30 or 7. When I got there, I met about another 150 or 200 persons. The auditorium was still locked. Okay. It was the indoor sports hall of the National Stadium. It was actually still locked. It was about a 3-day program, and they had an event the night before. And you know the way it is, they finish very late. People just get to shut down and go. The plan of the team was to come back very early to clean up the hall and set it up for the service on Sunday morning. See, but this group of guys who were, not going to miss their seats or be in the overflow and all that came so early. I was one of them. Okay, the door was still locked. Somebody was able to pull the door somehow, and then people started wiggling their way into the hall. So we all entered the hall. Okay, it was dimly lit. We sat down. You want to sit as close to the front as possible. The place was dirty. The place was upside down. You know what? It's not our church. They should come and clean their church. We just came to attend program, and everybody sat down, and probably you're reading a book, you're reading the Bible. Now we've gotten fantastic seats and we're waiting for the service to start. After about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, one young man got up. He didn't say anything to anybody. He just started cleaning. Okay. He just started cleaning. After some time, I started feeling guilty. I want to believe every other person around too, started feeling guilty. After some time, one person got up and joined him. Another person got up and joined him. Somewhere along the line, I got up and joined him. So about 100 persons started cleaning the hall. Then somebody raised a song. And before you know it, everybody was singing and cleaning. After about 40-45 minutes, the place was clean. The seats were arranged. By the time the volunteers of the church came, the auditorium was set. They were wondering, who are these people? Where did they come from? Guess what? We didn't even know one another. Till today, I don't know who that young man is or was who started the process. But every time I remember that story, I am reminded that is exactly what leadership is all about. Taking responsibility for positive change. Do you know how the story ends? Bishop Jakes did not come that day because very early, or maybe the day before, I can't even remember, there was news that his son had had a heart attack. So he had left with the next available flight, and he was not available to preach that Sunday morning service. Till today, I can't remember what else happened in that service because we stayed back and we attended the service. But I will never forget that young man who got up without talking to anybody and inspired about over 100 persons to clean the auditorium for a church that they did not belong to. Because leadership is influence. Okay? Leadership is influence. It is showing the way by going first. It is taking responsibility for positive change. As I round up tonight, let me share with you one last definition of leadership. Perhaps this is the one that underscores our discussion for today and for the rest of this month. Leadership is getting things done through others. Leadership is getting things done through other people. You remember the words of D.L. Moody. I would rather get 10 men to do the job than to do the job of 10 men. Why? Effective leadership multiplies productivity. Effective leadership multiplies productivity. So every time you want to scale, don't think about you doing more. think about what you can do through other people, okay? Working in a team with other people. On that note, I want to share with you the words of Wayne Cordeiro. He said, the ultimate test of a successful leader is not necessarily found in what he does, rather in what others are doing as a result of what he has done. In other words, an effective leader does not measure his effectiveness by what he has done, but he begins to measure he begins to measure what other people are doing as proof of the fact that he has been effective. Somebody will say it this way, that the proof of success, okay, is succession. It is what others are doing because of you that determines how effective what you have done is. I always advise leaders, don't just take responsibility or lead. Always look at the quality of the people that are following you, because the quality of your followers is the quality of your leadership. If you are a 4, then a 3, 2, 1, 0 will follow you. For a 5 to follow you, you have to be a 6. For a 7 to follow you, you've got to be an 8. For a 10 to follow you, you've got to be an 11 or a 12, because people will follow the person they naturally believe is better than them. For the rest of our time this month, we're going to be looking at how to develop the will to lead, developing the right attitude towards other people, and some other very important fundamental principles of leadership. But it is on this note that we are going to stop tonight. We will continue next week, Wednesday. The topic is leadership, moving from competence to leadership. But before I round up tonight, allow me to invite you for this intensive training program. It is a 6-week intensive training program. I hold this event once every year, and it is called Lead to Win. Lead to Win. Lead to Win is a 6-week intensive leadership training program. If you believe you have what it takes to shift your game to the next level, this is the kind of training you want to attend. This year, Jimmy Tewe will be joining me to facilitate, Lead to Win this year. So you don't want to miss it for anything. To get more information and to register for Lead to Win 2.0, please go to segunoke.com/lead to win. If you check in the comments on Facebook, the link is in the first comment that is pinned. There you can click on that link and go to my website to get all the information you need about Lead to Win. We're going to have 5 virtual sessions, and then we're going to have 1 in-person session, at an exclusive location in Ikoyi, Lagos. That physical session is going to be 4 hours of training. I'm going to be training that day. Jimmy Tewe will be training that day. We're going to have a buffet lunch at the end of our time together, and it is just for 50 people. So if you want to be in the room, make sure that you hurry now to my website and register. Early bird registration will end on the 25th of June. So you don't want to miss the opportunity to get the early bird, ticket. Make sure you register as fast as possible so that you don't miss your slot. Just 50 people, The virtual sessions will be Saturday mornings, 8 a.m., starting from the 1st of July. And we're going to have that for 5 weeks. And then on the 12th of August, we're going to have the physical session at an exclusive location in Ikoyi. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be excellent. Your life will not remain the same. The question I want to ask you is this: are you worthy of investment? Are you worthy of investment? Is this all that there is to you, or there is more to you? If your answer is yes, there is more to me, then sign up for Lead to Win 2.0. Let's be together for 5 to 6 weeks of intensive leadership training. For the virtual sessions, I'm going to be teaching from John Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. You don't want to miss it for anything. We're going to be looking at 3 laws per session, for 5 sessions virtually. And it's going to be recorded. Every participant will get a copy of the recording. It's part of your registration. I'll give you more information next week, Wednesday. But if you want more information, then go to my website, segunoke.com lead to win. The 2 there is the number 2, lead to win. Segunwake.com/lead to win. Like I said on Facebook, it's in the comments, the first comment, okay, on this live broadcast. It's pinned there. So just click on that link and you can go get more information about lead to win. Register as fast as you can so that you don't miss your slot. Listen, it's not the kind of event that, we'll say, oh, many people have registered. Now we are expanding. Once we get to 50, that's it. Okay, because we want it to be interactive. We want it to be robust. We want people to be able to connect and network. And it is for exceptional people. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday. We're going to discuss the other 2 things, okay, we looked at tonight. And that is developing the right attitude towards people and developing the will to lead. I'll share that with you next week, Wednesday. Do me a favor, share this video with your friends and loved ones. And after now, you can get this video on my YouTube channel. Just search for Segunwake on YouTube. Everything we've done in previous sessions is also available on my YouTube channel. We had some fantastic Q&A session in the last 2 weeks. It's on my YouTube channel. So go there, subscribe to that YouTube channel, share these videos with as many people as possible. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your year. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, as we continue